Hi everyone, it's Amanda, and this is my third process video using the kit that I pulled together for the two girls in a kit that I am in collaboration with my friend Carrie. And I'm just going through my kit and pulling out some design or some embellishments and pattern papers that I want to use or that I think I'm going to use. I really liked that little dashed 6x6 pad that came from the Carpe Diem. And the layout that I'm doing today is a picture of Landon and I on a date night that we recently had. His grandma took us to a dinner theater, and you can actually see more photos in the 30-minute scrapper process that I just did and uploaded this past week. And we got dressed up, and first time in a while that I've actually put on a legitimate dress and wore my pearl necklace, and I just felt fancy, I guess, for lack of a better word. And so I wanted to document that, and not so much the picture that it was a good picture of us, which I thought it was. I'd set my phone up on the hood of our van, and so that was kind of funny. But it wasn't so much that I was like, "Ooh, this is a good picture of us," but it was more that it's the first time in a while that we've felt like something other than a mommy and a daddy, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think anybody who, has had kids or has kids now that are little, and you just totally get so wrapped up with them, and it's a wonderful thing. But I totally understand now why people say that if you're not careful, you can lose yourselves in your kids and then kind of forget who you were before having them. So it was nice that we had this chance to just go out and spend some time together. Um, I'm cut apart two things from the bits and pieces from the Carpe Diem line. I have the pink, uh, like speech bubble 3x4 card, and then I have it's black and white, and I can't remember what it says, and I can't see it right now to tell you, but um, oh, love never fails. And then I grabbed that. This is my happy place. It was from a Dear Lizzie chipboard embellishment pack. And my original thought was that I was going to try to use like one 4x6 and then two or three 3x4 cards. And it didn't work out the way that I had planned. I've messed around with it a lot, and it just didn't seem to really flow the way that I wanted it to, the way that I imagined it looking in my head. And so I end up scrapping the This Is My Happy Place thing. I put it back in the pack for another layout, and I continue to think about using the Love Never Fails. And then for this brocade paper that I have, I know for sure that I'm going to be using it again on another layout, and so I cut the middle out of it. It's a quick and easy trick if you know that you want to use it again and you don't want to waste the entire page. Just cut that out, and then I mat that gray paper. And this is the same gray paper that I used in the Dream Big Today layout that I posted before this one, and it's what was on the top and the bottom. So I cut this out of the middle of that, and now I'm using it for the middle of this. And I get it on there, and then I realize it's not straight, so I pull it back up, straighten it back out, and then I just rough up the edges a little bit to make it appear like it's popping off the page. I guess it's not appearing, it actually is popping off the page, but I didn't have to add any sewing or anything to do that. I'm having so much fun with this kit because the colors just really are speaking to me right now, especially with it being summertime. So I'm looking back at those kind of parts, trying to figure out if there's something else that I want to use. I'm really starting to question whether or not that journaling card, the Love Never Fails, is going to fit. I want it to so bad because I love it. I love the way that it has that kind of inky look to the top of it. I start thinking maybe I don't even need to use the speech bubble, but I knew that that would be a great place for my title to go. I used that paper from the 6x6 pad for the Carpe Diem line, trying to figure out where I want to layer it in. You can see I keep going backwards, back and forth. It's so frustrating sometimes when you're scrapbooking, and before I rarely ever use this. Well, that's not true. I do use a sketch quite often. Um, I shouldn't say quite often. I do use sketches, but a lot of times it's just I go up, I have very small amount of time, and I have this image in my head, and it's very frustrating sometimes when what's in your head doesn't work the way that you thought it was going to, and it can be the simplest thing, like, you know, the just anything, like the colors don't mesh the way you thought that they did, or the spacing's not correct, but um, in times like that, I challenge myself to go on and not get frustrated and to try to make it work. So I stuck that. I moved the little blue and white dashed pattern paper. I move it from underneath it, and then I stick it on the left of the photo. And then at this point, I'm pretty certain. I do come back and play with the other card, and I actually you're gonna see me go right there, and I grab this sticker. It's from the Dear Lizzie. It's a Dear Lizzie like sticker sheet, and I grab it and I adhere it to a Project Life card um, because I didn't want to stick it anyplace. I wasn't for sure that I was going to use it yet, and I thought, oh, maybe I can use that, and I don't even end up using it. So you can tell how much I really wanted to make this work. In watching the video back, I probably could have made it work, but I don't know that I would have been as happy with it as I am now that I've got it done and I'm on the other side of the thought process and I can actually see it in my album. And I like how it turned out, even though it wasn't what I imagined whenever I went upstairs to scrap the page. So there's that chipboard um, embellishment pack from Dear Lizzie, and I love these chipboard banner stickers. So I put those up there, and I knew that they needed to be grounded a little bit. So I have some washi. It's this gray striped washi that I use all the time, and I just stuck it back behind. And it's such a simple element, but it added so much. Just kind of, you could see it peeking through, and it just kind of felt like it made it fit onto the page more. I had this lovely um, chipboard sticker from the same thing, and I knew that the title was going to be something about us being lovely that day or the night being lovely, um, and I really liked the arrow chipboard elements, but again, it needed to be grounded to something, so I stuck some more of that washi there. Had a hard time getting it back behind, and then just stuck those back on. It makes such a huge difference. And of course I've got it pointing towards the photo because you want your elements to draw your eye into the photo, not away. That's something that I always try to be cautious of, even if it's just sticking an arrow sticker or something. Anything that gives direction, you always want it to be pointing towards the main focus of your layout. So I used a lot of the chipboard elements on this page. I really like the zigzag, and I loved how I could stick it underneath the word lovely and it just kind of set. It's really kind of interesting the way that it played out. I've got that arrow sticker that I want to use, but I'm not exactly sure where. I don't want to have too many directional elements in the same spot because then it's just overkill. Looking at the titles and accents sheet from the 77. Thought about the I Got You Babe, but it just seemed a little too casual. Not that this is a formal layout, but I guess it's okay to say that it was more of a formal. So here I'm using the alphabet sticker sheet from the 77 line, and I am laying out my title. I had just enough of those gold stickers left to spell out the word love, and that used up all my O's and all of my E's, so I'm going to have to get creative with whatever I use those with next. First I thought about using those gray or the full colored um, letter stickers for the word is, but I realized I had enough gold to use there, so I really liked using that instead of the blue color. And of course I ripped the U, taking it off the plastic, but I just stuck some, I think it was just some matte medium to hold it down. Just want to reposition this a little bit more. I didn't like how the raw edge of that journaling card was there, so I moved this to where it sits on top of it. Okay, so looking to see what else I can use, and what I end up coming up with is I wanted to use some of the feathers. I had the Studio Calico Mistable feather pack. Oh, I do stick this, I forgot about that little star from the Puffy Words, Carpe Diem. Or not a star, oh my goodness, it's a heart. I put that there, and then I use some baker's twine here in a little bit, and I add that to it. But I pull out those feathers, I want to use those, and then I get my my misting box out, and I use the gold color shine from Heidi Swap, and I just give them a really good coating, and it takes a little bit of it to get it to the right finish of gold that I wanted. Now, something else that you could do here, which I have also done before, is just put some Versamark ink, rub it all over it, and then you can actually emboss over these, and it works just as good. The thing that I noticed with these are they were very, very wet. They kind of got soggy because I think they're a fabric type of material, so I had to dry them really well. And then even that, I just checked them a couple days ago actually, and they had dried pretty solid. But even whenever I was applying them to my page, they were still very, very wet. So you will have to be careful with that if you decide to do that, or if you have ever done it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I just trying to figure out where I want to place them. I want one on each of my embellishment clusters. And the title has kind of become a cluster, even though I didn't mean for it to be. So I want one of them to go there. And I keep playing around with it. First I thought I could stick it to the L, and then that didn't look right. And eventually what I decided to do is cluster those two together up there. And then I put another one on the top. So the title doesn't get one, but that's okay. And you'll see me move the one that's on the L. I'll move it up to where those pennants are. I put them both down with a glue dot, and then I bring in my white baker's twine and just add some white baker's twine to both the feather at the top, one of the feathers at the top left, and then also to the heart. And I think nope, I add the baker's twine to the one on the very top. I couldn't remember. I try to get these filed away as soon as I can in my scrapbooks, because if I leave them out, something happens to them, or somebody's little hands grabs things and pulls stuff off. So usually as soon as I've done the layout and photographed the layout, okay, so I do add it over there too. See, I'm not crazy. I just can't remember from 5 days ago apparently. But they go straight into my scrapbook albums. So I don't have to think about them anymore until I look back and enjoy it. I'm using some of the Claudine Helmuth matte medium, multi-matte medium, not multi-matte medium, you know what I'm trying to say, matte medium, and to stick those down because it's pretty strong. It acts as an okay adhesive. I could have used my Tombow Mono, but it wasn't around. And then I apply some to my fingers and rub it all over. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning. I rub it all over the baker's twine there, and it makes it stick the way that I want it to. So kind of my process at this point is to go through everything that I've pulled that I might want to use and see if anything sticks out. Now that I've got most of the page done, are there any stickers or flares or buttons or chipboard elements or anything like that that would just fit the layout? And at this point I'm thinking, nope, I like it just the way that it is. So I'm going to use my date stamp and just stamp the date over on the side. And then my journaling fits right there in that speech bubble. And I think my head gets in the way. Yep, there it is. Whole face actually. So sorry about that. But I'm just journaling about, you know, again, how nice it was to get out of the house and the girls weren't with us, and we just kind of got to focus on each other. And then we had great fellowship with his grandma, getting to spend some time with her, and it was just a really fun experience. Very thankful that we get to have these. So, and that is the layout. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if there's anything specific that you would like to see more of, you know, I've started doing some card videos and things like that. Let me know. Just leave them in the comments. Thank you so much for all of your kind words that you have left, and just the support that you've given me, and it keeps me going. So I hope you guys are having a great summer, a restful summer, making lots of memories and taking time to scrapbook those memories. Happy scrapping, guys. Bye-bye.